I am a sheepdog.
I have a subconscious and moral burden
to protect and help the people around me.
I believe in safety, responsibility,
and the God-given right to defend myself and others
from the wolves who seek to steal, kill, and destroy.
I defend the Second Amendment
by properly representing what it means to be a gun owner.
I will put aside my doubts,
my fears, and my excuses.
I will be trained, I will be ready.
I will be confident, and I will be prepared.
While some sheepdogs are born, most are made.
Becoming a sheepdog is a choice.
A new way of thinking and a new identity.
An alter ego that you must step into.
We are patriots.
We are defenders of liberty.
We protect those we love.
We are sheepdogs.
What's up? Ryan's dealing with the mic, so he said, you talk.
What's up, guys? Ryan here. Tiffany, that was such a boring freaking introduction. You're like, oh, what's up?
Well, what do you want me to do? Whoop,
I want you to chug a little bit of whatever you're drinking so you get loose. Get crunk up in here.
Might happen because I switched tonight because I ran out of wine. And so Ryan was gracious enough to go get me some, but it's warm. And I can't drink warm. So he looked at me. He's like, oh, well, you're clearly not an alcoholic then if you can't drink warm alcohol. So I was like, no problem. I'll just do my Kahlua and milk, right? Because I forgot that. Which, by the way, I've had this bottle. Do you remember buying it for me for Christmas?
No.
It was like
how long ago?
3 years ago.
Okay.
So I did a Kahlua and milk, but I might have mixed it.
Makes it a little strong.
A little on the strong side because I'm like 3 sips in and I'm like, ooh, feeling that one. So,
what's up, Security 29? Haven't seen you in a long time, buddy.
Yeah, super excited to have you guys all on tonight, Monday night.
Eddie, Adelie, Arthur finally got his t-shirt.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yep.
Gerard, Lisa. I saw Michelle on here. House of Lamar.
Yeah. So glad you guys are all on. Happy to have you. We got some cool stuff, right, tonight? Like some crazy.
It's always crazy stuff. It's like never ending.
It's so funny because, you know, we go to find the whatever's happened this last week, and you would think that maybe we might be like,
we'd run out of stories eventually.
Can't find any like really crazy stories, but nope, there they are every single week. Few of them.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so at the end of the show tonight, we are going to be giving away some cool prizes. Only way you can win is if you visit win.tampacarry.com. Enter your email address in. Tiffany's going to pick an email address, and you're going to win some cool stuff. Just like Arthur did, a t-shirt.
Excuse me.
You never see Kelly Ripa yawn on TV.
Well,
I'm just saying.
She does it in the morning. We can do this at 4 a.m. And I'm good. We do this at 4 a.m. I'm ready to rock and roll. But you do it anytime after like 7 p.m. Yeah, I'm done. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm still coming for you, Kelly. I'm still coming for you.
We're gonna find you. We're gonna bust your kneecap.
Do not put your guard down. Do not put your guard down. What?
What's that ice skater that like smashed the other ice skater in the leg?
Oh yeah. Tanya Harding.
We're gonna Tanya Harding you.
Okay, like. We're going to get banned or something. Like, she's going to put, like, a no contact. I'm just joking, Kelly. Just joking. Relax. Calm down. Because she probably watches. I'm just saying.
Taking notes. Okay, I got to do it like this.
Well, I'm just saying, probably some of her success came from modeling me.
I think that's a fair assumption, Tiffany.
I think so, too.
I will tell you, I have been told probably 20 times in the last 2 months to watch Regis Philbin and study the first 10 minutes of his monologue. I bet you I've been told 20, 25 times and I still have not done it.
He's one of the longest running, or he is the longest running
TV personality.
Yeah, he was good. He stayed on the air for over 20 years. He made people laugh. He was good. He was a great interviewer, but he could just hold his own, right? Which that's the hard part. Like, you know, Ryan starts the camera and it's like, hello. Hi, all you people. Now what do I say?
Yeah.
So anyway, somebody was just on there. It rolled up now, but they said, like, can you do like a monologue of Tactical Steve?
Do you guys want that? You know, we got to figure out how to make this show better. So I want all of you that have our email address, classes@tampacarry.com. I want you to send me an email with your top 5 ideas of how to make the live stream better.
Yeah, we're open to a lot of
We're
things.
going to find...
Keep it clean, though.
No, I don't care. Because I'm the only one that's going to read it. Say whatever you want. Maybe that'll be funny. Maybe we'll publish this in a book one day. I don't know. Tell me your top 5 ideas. The best winner is going to get, or the best one is going to get some crazy prize that I'm going to come up with. Crazy prize.
The best winner.
The best winner. Yeah, maybe Tactical Steve should do an opening monologue. Maybe Buck should be on here.
Maybe. I can't stand Buck, though. And he stinks. Yeah, I don't like Buck.
Yeah.
So, a nip shirt. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so Jeff's watched a few of your videos.
Okay, Jeff's been here for a while. If you remember the nip shirt, Jeff. All right, you ready for the first story?
Okay.
This is one that is really, really insane. So this is a police officer that stopped a guy in traffic. When he approached
A guy stopped a police officer in traffic, is what you're trying to say.
The police officer stopped the bad guy right there with the for a traffic stop. When he approached the bad guy, a child in the back said, "This is not my dad.
'Cause he stole
This
the
guy
vehicle."
stole my dad's car." And then the cop was able to grab him and get him out of the vehicle. So let's watch this video.
Crazy.
This is not your car? Step out of the car. It was so quick. It happened within minutes.
An unforgettable moment for Deputy Jonathan Pazmino Alvarez. He was working a separate call when he heard a plea that shocked him.
Out of nowhere, we see this gentleman running behind his truck, yelling. He just took my truck with my kids, and he looked at me. I'm pointing at the truck. Give me the car keys. I know where that is. I saw him running this way.
Deputy Pazmino Alvarez stopped the truck. Inside, 2 boys, ages 4 and 8.
They were crying. They were super upset, and as soon as they saw me, they lined up, they stopped crying, and they pointed out, like, he's not my father. Step out of the car.
It's unclear if Kevin Smith knew the children were in the truck. Deputy Pazmino Alvarez says Smith didn't say anything after he was read his Miranda rights. Despite that, the deputy says the way he handled the call changed because of those kids.
Typically, for any high-risk call, we'll have to draw our guns out and make sure that we got every person out of the vehicle one by one. But knowing that there were kids there, I didn't want this person in front of the wheel to do anything irrational that could like harm the kid.
Is that not absolutely insane? So Tiff was just telling me this happened right here in Brandon.
Yeah, it happened in Brandon. It was. I found the story on the Hillsborough County police page, so on Facebook. So super crazy, you know. It's one of those things. I guess the dad like ran in somewhere or whatever it was.
So
and the guy jumped in the truck and stole it with the kids in there. And typically, when this happens, right, the person will be like, "Oh, there's a kid. There's a kid in here. I'm exiting the vehicle." But this guy, like you could tell, he wasn't all the way, there. He decided he was going to continue to keep going. And I know you said that they pulled him over, but I believe what happened was the father actually waved down the cop and said, "He just stole my truck with my kids in it."
Yeah.
So they pulled him over
But hold on. So do you know, or does anybody else know, was this guy stopped at a gas station? Was he at a store and he went into the store and left his kids in the car?
I don't know the exact scenario, but the car was running and the guy just jumped in the car. So yes, I agree. Don't leave the car. Don't leave your kids in the car. I 100% agree. I always take mine in, even when I just have to run in. And I mean, they're old already, right? Like I could easily leave them in the car if I wanted, but I would never leave the car unlocked, right? Because you can still, even if you were, right? Let's just say you got a 14-year-old. They're old enough to sit in the car while you run into the gas station and grab a soda, right? You're not a bad parent if you leave your 14-year-old in the car. But what you could do is...
As long as you give him a handgun.
Have your 14-year-old lock the doors, right, of your car so that they can't just open the door and jump in. But, sometimes you're filling up the car, the kids are in the car seats, you're filling up the car with gas, it won't work. Sometimes they're sleeping and you don't want to run in. But, of course, 100%, I always brought the kids in. I always woke up all the kids, unbuckled them all, took them all in. But crazy story, because that guy's like, "I'm not getting out. You're going to punch me." And he's like, "Why would I punch you?" And he's like, "Because that's what you guys do."
Do you know what I was thinking the entire time when I'm watching this video? Tell me if any of you were thinking this. The entire time when the cop's like holding the dude's arm and the guy won't get out of the car, in my mind, I was like, this cop needs to punch this guy in the face.
Yeah.
Punch him in the face.
Make an example.
Exactly. And drag him out of the car. Like, I think the cop handled it very well.
Yes. Yeah.
But, like, I think when the wolf is attacking, we don't politely say, hey, please, wolf, stop.
Brave kid, too, to speak up right away and be like, no, this is my dad's car. Like,
you know what?
He stole this from my dad.
That's a kid that I almost guarantee you the dad, the mom, they probably talk to those kids about, like, what do you do if somebody kidnaps you? Because I don't know if that's always something that happens.
No, I think it is because he was probably scared and he saw a cop and he, just spilled the beans right away. Because I don't know if that dad would have had that conversation considering that he left the keys in the car running with the kids in the car.
Okay, Alan said that wasn't a wolf, that was a coyote. Okay.
I kind of agree with you, Alan.
Still a predator.
Kind of agree. So how could the situation have been avoided? Don't
be an idiot and take your kids in the store.
Don't leave your car running because even if you take your kids in, I mean, you would never just want to leave your car running in the parking lot because, I mean, cars get stolen all the time. So it's just not a smart thing to do. So take the kids in, lock the car. Could definitely have been avoided.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so does this situation fall under the justified use of force statute? So let's say that dad was in a convenience store.
Well, yeah.
Let's say that
That's kidnapping.
Okay, he looks out the window and he sees somebody like jumping into his car with his children. Mm-hmm. Does the dad have a legal right to use a firearm in deadly force? Tell me in the comments below while Tiffany's giving us the answer.
Does he? Yes. Should he? Well, that's questionable because you got your kid sitting in the front seat right beside this bad guy. I mean, maybe shoot out a tire, but again, unless they're just barely driving away, you don't want to hurt your kids and cause an accident, right? So, better to avoid this situation. However, it would fall under kidnapping.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember, I don't remember all the details of this story, but there was an incident in Texas just a few years ago where a mother stopped at a gas station. Her car was running, or maybe the car was off. I think the car was running.
Probably running.
She was filling up gas, and a bad guy just jumped into the car and started trying to drive away. So she opened up the passenger door, reached into the glove box to grab her gun, and then she shot the bad guy in the side, I think. Mm-hmm. But she had a couple of her kids in the back. So very big lesson that even if you're like really close to the vehicle, it's always faster to act than it is to react.
Yeah.
And those bad guys, they can close that gap really, really fast, get close to that car, jump in. And if that gun is not on you, ready to go, then you lost.
Yeah, so somebody said his life needs to be in danger to shoot him. Not necessarily because you're kidnapping.
No, it's kids' lives are in danger. It's a forcible felony. Kidnapping.
Okay, but yeah, the kids' lives are in danger because they're being kidnapped, right? I mean, look at how many times you hear on the news when a child is kidnapped, they're...
Okay, so here's the requirement. Florida Statute 776.012, subsection 2. This is everything that has to happen for us to use a firearm in deadly force in Florida. So number one, you have to have a reasonable belief that somebody is going to die within seconds. Is that potentially going to happen? Sure, you just kidnapped my kid.
And again, this is like a belief, right? So what I'm thinking is it's proven that if they don't find a child within
like 48 hours, 24 hours,
something less than that. Yeah, that they're going to die. You know, I mean, that's typically what happens. The child gets murdered. So yeah, that would be crazy.
Are you or somebody around you going to be the victims of great bodily harm? Probably not. That one doesn't apply. Mm-hmm. But this one definitely does. Are you or someone around you going to be the victims of a forcible felony? Yeah. Which kidnapping is a forcible felony. Mm-hmm. And you're probably wondering, what if the bad guy jumped in to steal the car and didn't realize there were people in the vehicle?
Right.
Nobody cares. Mm-hmm. There are people in the vehicle, and you still kidnapped them.
Yeah. But that guy clearly knew because the kid was sitting in the passenger seat. So a lot of times when something like this happens, they like steal a minivan and there's a kid.
That's what happened in Barico.
There's a kid buckled, third row back sleeping. You have no idea that there's a kid in there, and you drive like miles and you still have no idea there's a kid in there. But this guy knew that there was a kid, so he knew that he was kidnapping these kids, and he didn't care. He kept on driving, which is really crazy.
Really crazy.
That doesn't happen very often. So I don't know what his plan was, if he was just...
Or if he was on drugs, mentally ill.
The way he was speaking...
Seemed like he was intoxicated, yeah.
Yes, or mentally unstable. But that would give you even more of a reason to be disturbed at what could possibly happen, right?
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
Is the use of force immediately necessary in a situation like this? I think so. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I honestly can't say what I would do in this situation because, like Terry was saying, like, yes, you could, but should you? This is the thing. Like, I am not letting someone take my kids. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, how I'm gonna stop you.
She's coming for you.
But I'm not letting you take my kids.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, if that means that I have to take a risk to, shoot out the tires or, something like that, or make a shot to... I'm just saying, I'm not letting you take my kids. You're not going to get away with it.
Yeah, you're not getting them.
Because I don't know what's going to happen after that. And I could never live with myself...
If you didn't, like, give it everything you have and just go
stop
for it, right?
that vehicle from going. Yes. Now, probably a little bit of a difference if you're, like, in heavy rush hour. Like, there's only so many spots you can go. But as soon as I leave sight of you, like, what do I tell the cops? You're in this vehicle with this license plate. I mean, the cops can lose them within minutes.
So, like, if you guys don't know, Lincoln, my oldest son, is, like, the king of random scenarios. It's every day. It's to the point that it's, like, getting to be very annoying. It is annoying, but it's also like you're going to be an author. Like you're going to be able to come up with some crazy books one day, dude, because he just has wild stuff. So he's like, Dad, me and Jackson are at the park playing. And all of a sudden somebody comes up and they like grab us and they kidnap us. You're like right at the stop sign and you see it happen. What are you going to do, Dad? And I'm like, well, Link, Daddy is going to ram that guy's car. So you better know when you get into that vehicle, put a seatbelt on, because Dad is coming in hot.
Wow.
I am going to slam that car. And he's like, won't we get hurt? Probably. But Dad's going to stun the other guy a bit. And I'm going to be able to jump out and do something. And then he goes, what if you don't have a car? What if you're on the golf cart while somebody kidnaps us? What are you going to do then, Dad?
Well, the golf.
And I was like, you want to know what Dad will do? Dad is going to carjack a car that drives by. I'm going to be that guy just on Grand Theft Auto, pointing a gun at some random person saying, get out of your vehicle. I am very sorry. Somebody kidnapped my kids. This is happening.
Yeah.
And I'll pay for whatever damages later, but get out of your car. And then I'm going to ram.
Or come with me if you want the adventure of your life.
Come with me because I need a cameraman.
Wait, so just a really quick thing. Okay, I don't know if you're not allowed to shoot out the tires. Well, I would still probably do that because...
To be very honest, we talk a lot about following the law and stuff. You take my kid.
Yeah.
I don't care if I go to prison. I don't care if I go to jail. I don't care what fines I get.
And that's kind of like how I feel, like a little bit. Now, if the kids are in the back, I can make a clear shot to shoot you. But I'm taking this scenario where the kid was in the passenger. That, for me, is a little harder. For Ryan, probably not so much. For me, it's a little harder. So then I'm like, might go for the tires. But anyway... I would also do what you said, and I would probably carjack someone and follow. But here's my thought on, like, how fast stuff happens, right? So I'm going to talk about the Matthew, how do you say his last name?
I don't know. The Matthew carjacking. It happened at the Valrico State Bank, right on Valrico Road and Highway 60, like 2019,
Guy just got out of prison, robbing the bank, Matthew pulls up to make his little deposit, decides he's going to push him into the passenger seat, steal his car. The cops knew about this right away. Within seconds, they were, notified from the bank. They had the vehicle. They had the license plate. They knew everything. Okay? They had helicopters. Matthew still died.
Yeah, and
because
that was
it did not take much time at all for that guy to drive down Valrico Road into the back of a church, behind in some wooded area.
And I was driving around when all that was happening.
I was right in that area.
Like, what the hell is going on? There were more police than I've ever seen, helicopters and stuff. And I'm like, dude, what is happening right now? And then that's when we discovered that, they ended up finding him.
So they found him a couple hours later, but this happened like in a matter of minutes, and they had cops and helicopters like right away on this, right? So this is what I would think about right away. Like, it wouldn't take long for that bad guy to just drive off, and then a few streets later, hidden somewhere while they're, scanning, looking for him, and he's in some on some back road, it wouldn't take long for them to hurt your kids.
Yeah.
I would take it very seriously.
All right, so Adelie says, I agree, I'm the same way. O-Town Racer says, Jackson is awesome. Stay in the fight. Dang, Ryan, I thought you would deploy your cape. I might, bro. You know, I saw this video on social media. I'm sure you guys will see it. It is super epic. Okay, this, there's like a group of women. They're at a convenience store, and they're walking through the parking lot. And there must have been some backstory, a road rage situation, but this guy tried to run them over with his car. And this chick, the car is like coming right at it. And you know, like when something's happening,
Don't tell me she jumped up onto the hood.
Tiffany, this chick freaking jumped on the hood.
No!
And then she like spider crawled over the top and then just jumped off.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And everybody was like, what the hell just happened? What did we just witness?
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Tiffany, it was so cool, man.
Man, that's awesome.
But me, I'd be like,
yeah. Ooh, you're wearing your sweatpants, huh?
Yeah, I know.
I hope you have underwear on. Ryan's been having this.
Here's the thing.
Ryan's been having this thing with not putting underwear on with sweatpants. Now, I'm just wait. Let me talk.
I am an entrepreneur and I live the lifestyle I want to live.
Okay, but like I'm not going to admit this very often, but you're fairly well endowed. You need to wear underwear. You can see things that you're not supposed to see.
So
now, if he's around the house, it's totally fine. But he comes strolling up
down the street.
Okay, I drop
for
off
my
Paisley.
hour walk.
I drop off Paisley. He goes for his hour walk. He comes strolling up the street, and I go like this. And he says, "What? What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "See that?
Are you wearing underwear?"
I can
was like,
see.
no.
Yeah, I'm like, I can see the outline, Ryan. Like, I said, "Are you wearing underwear?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, you should." So I'm just saying. Just saying. So
all right.
You're getting a little too comfy in the neighborhood.
I don't care. Just like to establish my dominance.
Yeah, but why? Tell me why you're not wearing underwear. I know like the whole free balling thing, but like.
Tiffany, I don't even know. I wake up, I just like throw clothes on, and then I take the boys to the bus stop and I go on a walk. Like I can honestly tell you, I don't live my life concerned about like, what are the neighbors going to think? I don't walk outside, never think that. Like never.
I guess you just don't see what I see.
Yeah. But that one woman that jogs early in the morning, she does wink at me a lot. So this makes sense. All right. So Rich has a question. He says, this is a long question. So if someone has an AR style custom build with a 12 to a 14-inch barrel, less than 16 inches, I understand how math works.
I just want you to know that I cut this.
Did you?
Yes.
I was just thinking like,
and
we need to...
I like kept squishing it, and then he sent another email, and I'm like, to add to it, I'm like, okay, dude, this is too much.
Do you guys want to know why I never talk to people on the phone?
Because you have too many long questions.
It's because people can't just get to the point.
Yeah.
And this guy today, like, he's like, Ryan, I got a question for you. I said, awesome. What's your question? And he goes, can we jump on a phone call? And I said, no, I'm only available through text.
Yeah.
What's your question? Because when I force people to put it in text, it forces them to
like,
get it to one sentence.
Like
two
to figure
sentences.
out. Yeah.
And this guy's like, oh, it's not possible. It's too long. And I was like, well, then, I can't help you, sir.
Then use voice to text.
And then he goes, how do I check the status of my application? And I was like, boom, here's the link, sir. It took me like 2 seconds. So anyway, that is why I do not answer the phone ever for anyone.
All
okay,
right,
so Rich has a question. If someone has an AR style custom build, 12, 14-inch barrel, not including muzzle device, total length is over 26 inches, front to tip, blah, blah, blah. Does it meet the classification of a rifle overall 26 inches? Some say it's still a pistol barrel because the barrel length is under 16 inches. Is it classified as a rifle or pistol? Okay.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I'm not reading the rest. So here is the federal code that outlines like short barrel rifles, rifles made or firearms made from a rifle and stuff like that. So it's federal code 26 USC 5845 section A. It says a weapon made from a rifle is such weapon as modified has an overall length of less than 26 inches or a barrel length less than 16 inches in length. So these are three different firearms here. The firearm at the top is an LWRC. I actually own that rifle.
You have that gun, yeah.
Super sexy. Just waiting to buy the optic for it.
bought it without my permission on election night.
On election night. And I think I made a good decision. You guys tell me in the comments down below.
Why? Nothing got banned.
Decision.
You could have bought it the next year.
Still happy I have it. So that has a 16-inch barrel and an overall length greater than 26 inches. So that is classified as a rifle under the federal law. Yeah. The second rifle is a LWRC SBR, which stands for short barrel rifle. So that has a 10-inch barrel and an overall length of greater than 26 inches. So because the barrel is less than 16 inches, that for some reason, according to the government, makes it more dangerous, which I've never understood who flipping knows.
I know. Like, does it really freaking matter? That one there is so much more than the dangerous than the one on top.
But the problem is we have non-gun people trying to create gun laws, and they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They just want to make a law to show the other uneducated gun people that they're doing something. Yeah. And then the one on the bottom is what's classified as a pistol. So that's an LWRC pistol. Again, a 10-inch barrel. I know it's confusing to look at them and understand that there's different laws for each of those because they all look the exact same.
They all shoot the same amount of ammo. They shoot the same type of ammo. Like, literally nothing different. In fact, I mean, this might sound stupid, but the one on the top should be the one that's more deadlier because it's more accurate with the longer barrel. Technically. I mean,
it just doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, though, if they were going to logically say, like, we are going to make this harder to get your hands on.
The concern back in the 1934
is that you could hide it.
Was the concealability.
Because, like, Al Capone and stuff, didn't they have, like,
Tommy guns
and stuff like that? Yeah.
Browning BARs, like, cool stuff.
Yeah, like, I mean, how many times does someone conceal a SBR?
Yeah. This is one of the great books that I have on National Firearms Act items. So it's written by, or it's called the FFL Lawyer. So the Ultimate National Firearms Act Handbook. Very good. So it outlines all this stuff really well and like goes over all the different federal statutes and U.S. codes. So the reality is a rifle that has a 16-inch barrel does, according to what I'm reading on here, does not have to meet the 26 inches of overall length. But it's when it's a weapon made from a rifle. Okay. That's when it has to meet that overall length of 26 inches. Gotcha. At least that's what I understand from this. Yeah. So the reality is this is not a game you want to play. Yeah. Don't mess around with ATF because they will lock you up and throw away the key. Yeah. And they're just looking for a reason to throw you under the bus. So if you have a barrel length less than 16 inches, you need to make sure that you either permanently pin and weld very long flash hider, which I have I have a couple guns like that. I have a 10-inch
pin and welded suppressor.
So I have a 10-inch barrel.
Like on a DPMS or something, right?
No, Tiffany, chill out. I would never own DPMS. So it is a Yankee Hill suppressor, Yankee Hill upper, 10-inch barrel, pinned and welded Yankee Hill suppressor, makes it 16 inches, badass. So anyway.
Yes, exactly, OTO Racer. I agree. Okay, hi, James. Good to have you on.
All right. So, next story. This is a really scary, interesting, mind-boggling situation that happened with two fathers that got into an epic road rage gunfight that had consequences that they were not expecting.
You're right, I'm the one to call. Okay. No, you all did.
Do me a favor. Let's take care of your daughter. Just stay right here.
Absolutely. Okay? I'm all about taking care. Yeah. Oh my God.
Look at me. You're okay.
We're on our way home. These two are from Georgia. They're plucking clay. Back and forth clay.
I know, sweetie. Oh.
I would never, ever put her in this position.
Bravo 1301, be advised, fire rescue, they're going to have a trauma alert to...
Okay. So I observed something that probably many of you did not observe.
Okay, in the video.
Yeah.
You saw something in the video that people didn't observe. Okay, enlighten us, Tiffany.
Okay. That dude, he was wearing a wedding ring. Do you know how much freaking trouble he's going to get going home? Telling your wife that you freaking shot someone's daughter and then the other person shot your daughter.
But what was
road
interesting
rage?
is the guy said to the cop, I would never do anything to endanger my daughter. Your daughter just got shot.
You should have not even got involved in this whole road rage thing.
So here's what was happening.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up says, how is it graphic and nothing is shown?
Okay.
Here's the deal. All these social media platforms, what we have learned, we cannot show anything. If we show anything, they are going to ban us.
We get banned. Yeah, we get
so
banned.
So it's got to be highly covered. Go watch the news because apparently they have different rules than us.
Here's bottom line. 2 effing idiots get into a road rage. They pull over. They start yelling at each other. This guy says, screw you. He says, screw you too. And then this
we
guy.
need puppets.
And then this guy's like, I'm going to shoot at your car. Pew, pew. Oh my gosh. You just hit my daughter, you mother effer. Pew, pew. Oh my gosh. You just hit my 5-year-old daughter. Oh crap. What did we do?
So it was a 14-year-old and a 5-year-old?
Yeah. This is what happened. So what you guys were watching blurred out was the cop taking care of the 14-year-old that had gotten shot. So both the kids are okay. Both the daughters are okay. But this is 2 freaking massive idiots that are out there. Like, while this is playing, I was thinking, like, how freaking stupid are you, for one? But for 2, what are you teaching your kids? Like, we have to start having some type of control over ourselves. It's getting just, it's probably always been like this, but I just feel like it's getting out of control. Like, this is a stupid thing that happened on the road. Like, move on. If we can't move on from someone cutting us off on the road, like, it's just insane. And even more insane that, people are like, oh, no, I don't think you should take their gun rights away. And, oh, no, I think that. Listen, if you can't freaking control yourself, you do not deserve the right to own a firearm. I know I'm going to get flack for it. I know it. But that's how I feel. Like, learn how to control yourself. Have some type of control, because you can't just go around
waving your gun around, like
shooting at people. Like, what would have happened if that little girl would have died?
Well, it happens all the time, though. Happens all the time.
Like,
so I got into a road rage incident in my neighborhood. First, actually, it's the second fight I've been in my neighborhood, which is not my goal. But I'm driving home. Where was I coming from? I was coming from somewhere, dropping Paisley off at school, something.
Okay. So just wait. So Daniel, yes, if one was using self-defense, then guess what? If he shot at your car, you freaking shoot him. Shoot him dead, shoot him in the chest. Boom, done. Now you're shooting at another vehicle where there's a kid. Like, the chances of that kid dying are just way too high. That's an innocent victim in all this.
Okay, who is this?
So
Daniel says, like, one of those guys pulled the gun first.
Yeah.
And one was using self-defense. Not necessarily.
Right.
So, like, if you're agitating the problem, so you're the guy that is road raging, slams on your brakes, jumps out of the car, and does all this stuff, right? And comes up and is banging on the window and trying to get in the car, and the other guy pulls out a gun, you don't have a right to pull out your gun, right? So there's just a lot we don't know, and the reality is, it doesn't matter. If you're not grown up enough to stay in your damn car and calm the hell down, you're probably not ready to have a gun yet. You're probably not mature enough to exercise all of your God-given rights. Okay, so people are like, Ryan, I can see you getting in road rage all the time. I used to a lot. In fact, what made me change and stop getting into road rage was a situation where a guy got into a road rage situation with some other guy. The bad guy pulled up and opened fire into his car, and it hit the 4-year-old kid in the back, and the kid died. And that's when I was like, does it really matter that guy cut in front of me?
Right.
Does it? And you want to know what else was interesting? This is a good life lesson for everybody. I kept, like, coming home and telling Tiff, I got in this road rage situation because this guy was such an idiot. And it was always the other person. Always the other person's fault that I was getting in these road rage things. Do you guys know the secret that I learned?
That
It was actually my fault every time.
This is what I say to Lincoln when he always gets in trouble. I said, who's the common denominator in this? Because, listen, I've been driving on the road for, like, almost 30 years. And I've had, like, one road rage incident. And that truly wasn't my fault. Someone totally freaked out. I cut them off by accident. Okay? Sometimes that happens. You go to move into the lane, they're in your blind spot, and you're like, oh gosh. I did my whole Canadian thing, like, I'm so sorry. And they were like, babe, cut over, like trying to cut me off. I'm like, dude, like I legitimately am sorry. And I just got off the road because I was like, I'm out of here. Like, you're a psycho.
Yeah.
So with you.
Okay, so Alan says, are you still a highly motivated driver though? I will tell you, Alan.
No, you've calmed down.
I have calmed down. But I will tell you that if you need to get somewhere, I'm the one you want driving.
Yeah.
Because I can get you there.
But you've really calmed down.
Yeah.
And you've really just like, you leave early.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Like I leave to go to our Tampa office for class.
Which is only like 40
It's only
minutes.
45 minutes away, but I leave 2 hours early.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. I want to be able to drive slow and not be in a rush.
Yeah.
Number 2, if I get a flat tire, I want to make sure that I can fix a flat tire, still get there on time, and all that stuff, right? So I just prefer to be, and I'd rather just get there and work than be rushed or whatever. So anyway, let's get back to this road rage situation.
Okay, so before you go, yes, Todd, the same thing like happened to Ryan. Like it made him calm down because it made him think like, okay, now I can't escalate things. Like now this could actually turn into something else. And
Yeah.
you share that in a lot of the videos.
A lot of videos, yeah. So I'm driving home. I am late for a meeting. The meeting's starting in like 2 minutes, dude, and I hate being late for stuff. And there's this guy driving down our like main road.
Oh, this just happened.
So slow. I was like, bro, what are you doing? You're going so slow. And it's like a 2-lane, right? One direction each lane. And I was like, dude, I should just pass this guy. But I was like, no, he might live in our neighborhood. Like, I don't want to cause a problem with this dude. It's okay if I'm a couple minutes late, whatever. So I'm just driving slow, but like the frustration is building, right? And then the guy turns into the neighborhood and I'm like, okay, good thing I didn't pass him.
And he's probably, he notices you trailing him. So he's like, I'm gonna drive slow.
So now the guy is going like half the speed in the neighborhood. So slow. And I drive so slow in our neighborhood, but this guy is just going way slower. And I was just like, oh my gosh, man. Like, what is you doing? But I'm just being calm. And then there was a car parked here and another car over here. Basically, the guy pulled up and I thought he was just parking on the side of the road. So I drove to the left to go around him. And then the guy, let me see. The guy like did this to cut in front of me, like he was gonna back into his driveway. So I get it, it's my fault. I didn't realize you backed into your driveway. I just didn't realize that.
Yeah, you thought he was just parking on
I
the
just thought he was
street.
parking his car, like, because that's how every normal person drives, but whatever. So I was like, whatever, and then I drive home, I park, and then this guy comes flying up, stops right behind my truck, and he's like, F you, mother effer, blah, blah. And this dude's like 55, 60, screaming, cussing, all this stuff. And in my mind, this is how I know I'm maturing, which is a shocking thing. I almost fell out right there. So I was like, I walked up to his car and I said, sir, I'm trying to be very polite to you. I said, just go home, okay? And I turned around and started walking through the grass to the front door. And then the guy's like, F you, you freaking piece of blah, blah, blah. And I turned around and he's like, F, F, F. And finally I just said, no, F you. And then he goes, oh yeah, you're a white piece of... And I was like, oh, snap. I said, so you're a racist? And he goes, yeah, I am a racist. And I was like, oh, so we got a community group, right? A community Facebook group. So I said, you know what I'm going to do, sir? I'm going to post your comments inside of our community Facebook group. We're going to let the rest of the neighbors know that you're a racist and that you're very proud of that. And he goes, you do whatever you want to do. And I was like, okay. And then he turned around and he left.
Ryan's not even in the group.
And I don't even care. I don't have time to post shit in this group. I don't care, right?
Yes, this is at our new house. This is like 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's on Friday. So then our neighbors next door were like talking to him. And anyway, we told him the story. And I'm sure Adam didn't believe the story.
He was probably thinking like, okay, Ryan, like I'm sure you
were more aggressive than that.
Like you were asking for it or whatever. Dude has a security camera, so he pulled the camera.
And he like zoomed in.
And he like
had
watched
audio,
the whole thing.
everything. And no, I was telling the truth.
Yeah, he's like, okay, you're telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So my point behind that story is, this guy doesn't know me.
No.
Over something as small as me pulling in front of him, which was a truly 100% an accident.
An accident, yeah.
It was just, it's such an accident. And I don't want an argument with my neighbor, right?
Right.
So even if I just want to apologize, just move everything on, because I got to live next to you for the next 5 years.
But here's the question. You got this hothead, okay, who's very, 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 very pissed. What happens when he rolls up on Ryan 10 years ago, hothead?
It would have been bad. It would have been bad, yeah.
That's when bad things happen. Yeah. So usually, if one person...
So my point is, you don't know who you're rolling up on.
Yes.
You don't know who you're acting so aggressive to.
Yes.
Because that person might have just found out their wife is banging the mailman. Or
how did you know?
the wife just asked for a divorce. Maybe they got fired from their job.
And they got nothing to lose. But here's my point, okay? Because I have a point too, Ryan.
Okay.
Okay. It usually takes 2 hotheads. Not all the time, but usually it takes 2. So if our students, if us sheepdogs can be the voice of reason, and if we can be the ones to hold our cool, then we aren't going to be caught in a situation like that, because we're not going to be the ones to add fuel to the fire. We are going to be the mature ones. We are going to be the ones that stay in our vehicle. We are going to be the ones to leave the scene and to not escalate it.
So I saw this video on Facebook. You guys may have seen it already. It was awesome. I wish I would have thought of this and done this in this situation. So a Jehovah's Witness or whatever knocks on this dude's door, and he opens the door, and the lady goes, "Hey, brother, do you have time to talk about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" And the guy goes,
"Oh, that's good."
And the lady goes, oh, are you deaf? And then he does some stuff like this, and then she goes, "Okay, well, have a nice day." And he goes, "You too." It was so awesome.
I don't know if you guys found that as funny as we did.
Yeah, it was so great.
You might have had to have a sip of my Kahlua to make that one funny, but I thought it was good.
All right, so next question is, can you conceal carry in a martial arts academy in Florida? Do you realize this is 3 weeks in a row?
I know.
We've gotten these questions. Maybe...
I don't think they watch.
I don't think you guys are paying attention.
Okay, 2 things. You don't watch it, you don't have our book. Plug the book. Plug the book. Plug the book.
So, because if you had the book, you'd already... You know what's funny? This guy, I give people a copy of this book when they come to the Florida Conceal Carry Masterclass with us. I give them a copy, and I'm like, the answer to every question you could possibly have is in this book. Yeah. Okay? Everything.
Yeah.
All the questions I've ever gotten in the last 10 years.
And then they text you after the class.
And then this guy texts me, and he texted me this question about being on a motorcycle. So what I did is I took a picture of the page in the book, and he was like, "I'll read the book." I was like, "There you go, buddy. One more reason why I don't answer the phone."
It was okay. They said your joke was okay.
What?
Your joke was okay. What Ting Ting said? "I will be a good girl and try to walk away." Yeah, Ting Ting, we're always praying for you.
Ting Ting ain't taking no shit. All right, so prohibited place number 1, any place of nuisance, any police, sheriff, highway patrol station, any detention facility, prison or jail, any courthouse, any courtroom, any polling place, any meeting of a governing body of a county, public school district, municipality, or special district, any meeting of the legislator, school, college, professional athletic event, any elementary or secondary school facility, career center, a restaurant that serves alcohol for consumption on the premises, college or university, inside the passenger terminal, stair area of an airport, or any place prohibited by federal law. Tiff, let me ask you a question. Is martial arts studio anywhere on there?
Nope.
Did you see martial arts academy on there?
Nope.
Did you see martial arts training center?
Nope.
Anywhere on that document?
No. Okay, so here's the thing. Because probably you saw a no guns allowed sign, and that is why you're asking the question. Or maybe you're thinking it's a school because it's named academy. Is that? That's probably why.
Maybe
they're
that's why he's
thinking like
confused.
Academy, maybe like it's a school, but it's a private. It's just a private.
It's just a business.
It's just a business. So here's the thing: you can carry in there. However, if they find out that you have a firearm and they ask you to leave, you must leave, or else you can get charged with armed trespassing.
Felony armed trespassing.
Yes,
I know a lot about this law.
You would,
it's up to 10 years in prison.
Yeah, and then you would also lose, your rights. So that's only if they see the firearm and then they ask you to leave or whatever it is, or even if they just ask you to leave, I guess. So, but if you're concealed carrying properly, that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. So that's the thing. But any place that has a no guns allowed sign, I know a lot of people get confused with like Walmarts and stuff. They think that that's like a rule. Some states it is a rule, not in the state of Florida.
Yeah. Because let's face it, you need a gun at
Walmart.
Especially past 11 o'clock at night.
True.
Because that's when the meth heads come out. All right, so let's see. Next question. This is the active shooting that just happened in North Carolina. You know about this? Happened over the weekend, Thursday, Friday?
Literally, right before we got on the call, got my Google News, and it was in there, but I don't know. But I know that there was 8 people that were shot or something, but that's all I know. 5 dead.
Okay.
A couple more wounded. All right, let's see.
He's wearing all camo. A white kid ran out here with a shotgun. He shot somebody.
Chilling 911 calls offer new details from residents during a mass shooting that unfolded Thursday in a Raleigh, North Carolina neighborhood. 5 people were killed, including an off-duty Raleigh police officer on his way to work. 2 people were also injured during the shooting.
An officer was shot? Yeah, he's an off-duty cop. I keep trying to say he works for Raleigh.
We heard some shots outside, and I looked out my window, and the neighbor is on the ground, I think.
Another caller telling dispatch they saw a kid shoot someone, then run back in the woods. The 5 victims identified range in age from 16 years old to 52 years old. Those living in the area express how heartbreaking this is to the community.
I have teenagers myself, and it's a tragedy at any point in time. It's tragic for the families, though, that are suffering right now.
As for the shooting suspect, the 15-year-old male is in custody, according to the Raleigh Police Department. So far, his identity has not been released, but prosecutors say they intend to charge him as an adult.
So a 15-year-old just walks out of the woods
in camo.
In a neighborhood, not in Canada.
No, in camo.
In camo, with a shotgun, and just like wildly opens fire in the neighborhood. You know, it's scary because was it Friday night? Friday night, the gunshots in our neighborhood? Friday night.
Forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that Kahlua must be kicking in, Tiff. You're zoning out. Try to stay with me. Again, this doesn't happen to Kelly.
I was Listen, I am not Kelly, okay? I've got boobs. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, I guess I haven't seen her in a long time. All right, so in our neighborhood, I guess like one of the neighbors, somebody just started popping some rounds in the field at like 10:30 at night.
Well, we don't know where it was, but there was 2 gunshots, right? Pop, pop. This was at like 10:15 on Friday night. And then, so somebody called the cops, was like, somebody's shooting. So then the cops came out, and then just as they got here, another 5, pop, 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 pop. And they shared their Ring video, which was like, you could hear it clear as day. Because I was like, maybe it wasn't. Maybe sometimes people shoot fireworks. I'm like, no, those are gunshots.
Yeah, they're definitely gunshots.
And then you hear the cop sirens, whoop, whoop.
And the cop like talking on the loudspeaker.
On the loudspeaker, and you can like hear it clear as day. So he's telling them to drop their weapon. So, and then there was another 2 pop, pop. And then that was it. That's all we heard. It wasn't on the scanner page. It wasn't. So I don't know what the heck happened. They said it was right here on Crosby. So I don't know. Really weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what would you do in this situation? Like the kids are outside playing. You're doing your gardening, which you love to do. And all of a sudden somebody just has a gun and they just open fire on the neighborhood. Like what would you do in that situation?
You know, like I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, whether you want to hear it or not. Sometimes there's just not a lot that you can do. I mean, it just is what it is. Maybe you carry all the time outside when you're doing yard work. I mean, let's be honest. Do you?
No, not all the time. Like when we were moving the big trees and stuff, that would be pretty uncomfortable.
Sometimes you do because you're just ready. But then other times it's like, I'm like, Ryan, come get this thing.
I actually screwed up today when I went to Publix.
Oh.
I drove to Publix. I got out, and as I'm walking in, I was like, shit, I don't have a gun right now.
How? When was the last time that's happened?
I can't even remember the last time that happened. But I was like, oh, my God, I'm already here. Like, I'm just going to go real quick.
Let me ask you this, because this is equally important. Did you have underwear on?
I did have underwear on when I went to Publix.
Okay, well, at least you had underwear on. No, but really, so you were a sheep today at Publix.
No, okay, here's what happened.
This is what you're thinking. This is the frickin' day. This is the frickin' day. I carry relentlessly for 12 years every single day, and this is the day I'm going to get caught.
This is the inner, like, voice in my head. This is what it sounds like. I was like, I'm walking up, right? And I'm like, oh,
is this how you walk?
This is how I walk. It's a power walk. I'm walking in and I'm like, oh shit, you don't have a gun. I guess I'm just gonna have to poke that dude in the eye. There's an active shooter. Boop. Can't freaking shoot me if you're blind.
No, but that's, man.
It's a concern. I have a knife.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
Jeff. Always carry. What the hell were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking. That's the
I can't
thing.
even believe it. Thank God you didn't have my children with you.
I know.
Oh, yeah. No, okay,
Yeah.
but like in this situation, there are just some things, like, listen, I go out and I'm like, if I'm just
What I would be scared of in this situation, Dan gave us $9 to buy underwear. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. The problem is not that I don't own underwear.
He has underwear. He doesn't. He's getting lazier and lazier. Like, first it started, it's all because of the golf cart, I think. That's how it started. But first it started like he just stopped wearing socks, right? He's just not going to, and then he's not going to wear shoes either. So now he's going to go barefoot. So he's going to go barefoot to take the kids to the thing.
I go barefoot to take the kids to school and to pick them up
And
from
then
school.
he would always wear jeans.
I go to the post office barefoot.
He'd even go exercising in jeans. I'm like, oh, it's so hot, Ryan. Like, let me buy you some basketball shorts and like some comfy sweatpants. Like, you're at home. You don't need to be wearing jeans and a belt and like everything, right? Because his hips hurt and stuff. Makes you sound like a pansy. But anyway, so then he started wearing sweatpants. And then it went to sweatpants with no underwear. So now we've gone from no socks to no shoes to sweatpants to no underwear. Like, I don't know what's next for you.
I don't know. It is getting more and more casual. So today I go to the chiropractor in the morning and I'm like driving there and I'm like, oh crap, bro. I'm wearing like a dirty shirt. My hair's messed up. But I just roll with it. This is who I am. I walk in, I'm like, boom. All you suckers had to get dressed this morning and I didn't.
I'm on my phone watching the other night, just relaxing on the couch, right? And he's stretching, and then all of a sudden, and I look over, and I'm like, for crying out loud, Ryan, like, that's disgusting. Like, you still have, like, we've been together for, like, 19 years. You have to attract me, you know. Like, you can't give up at this point.
What the hell are you going to do? Are you going to leave?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
okay, well, then
I'm
we just
supposed to
established
look
that
at
I don't
you.
have to do anything.
I'm supposed to look at you, like, completely, you know, like, "Rrr," and
Nobody
here
cares.
we've got no socks, no shoes, sweatpants, no underwear, hair not done. What if this was me?
That's why, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's get back to the story here. Yeah. Next thing, Ryan is total nudity.
Just to check my mail.
We actually met friends the other day, met some people who, like, as we're talking to them, he goes, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but we live on a nudist colony. And I was like, huh. Not what I was expecting, sir. Not what I was expecting. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the mystery is over. I know, but I don't want the mystery to be over. Like, I think you know, you can keep it going for as long as possible. But but listen.
Okay, let's get back to the story.
Okay.
My fear is my boys are always like playing somewhere in the neighborhood. Okay, playing in the field, playing in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got a shooter that comes out like this and they're going berserk. Now, me, you, and Paisley are in the house because we don't really leave the house much. Mm-hmm. But the boys are like out in some random field. Yeah. There's not a chance in hell I'm just going to hide and say, hopefully the boys make it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, like, I'm not saying, like, you're not going to do anything. But what I'm saying is, like, if I'm tending to my hibiscus flowers in the front yard, spraying it with fungus again, and some dude walks up with a shotgun, I mean, I just look up in Jesus and say, all right, take me home. Like, I'm just saying there's some
What's
things.
the cool, like, catchphrase you're going to say
I don't
before
know.
you die?
I don't have a cool catchphrase. I don't have anything cool. What I'm just saying is, like, some things, because I know what you're going to say, like, how could this situation be avoided? And, like, there's just, I mean, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Some dude walks up to you while you're in the freaking driveway. Like, I don't even know if I had a firearm on me. He's walking up, you know, already drawn with a shotgun in your face. I mean, what are you going to do? There's not a lot you can do. It's just a sad situation. But what's the story with this 15-year-old? Like, what?
I'm curious now, as this time goes on, we're going to learn more and more about this kid.
Yeah, and
we're gonna see
why
lots of
did
warning
he have
flags.
access to
But
a firearm?
They're all going to blame the gun. They're going to blame gun owners.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to file a $1 billion lawsuit against whichever firearm manufacturer it was. Remington, Mossberg, whatever. So anyway, let's move to the next question. So my mother-in-law wants to know if she can buy me a gun for Christmas. Is that allowed to happen? Yeah, Tiffany always buys me guns for gifts and stuff. Usually.
Pretty much. I mean, because that's pretty much all you want.
Easiest thing to buy me.
Yeah, you do like to have like old things, but it's also in his book.
Yeah, we're going to go over right now.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a couple different rules. If somebody is buying you a firearm as a gift, first rule is Federal Code 18 U.S.C. 922, subsection A, subsection 5. It is unlawful for any person to transfer, sell, trade, give, transport, or deliver any firearm to any person who the transferor knows or has reasonable cause to believe does not reside in the state in which the transferor resides. Now, that is why when we do a private firearm transaction in the state of Florida, we do have to look at the person's driver's license and make sure that they have a Florida driver's license.
Yeah.
Because you are not legally allowed to transfer possession of a gun to a person that resides in a different state.
Yeah. Even if, like, they have to show you a Florida ID, they could be like, oh, no, I moved here, but I still have my Jersey ID. Doesn't matter. You have to have a Florida driver's license.
Proof. Yeah.
Proof, yes.
Okay, so the next code is 18 U.S.C. 922, subsection D. It shall be unlawful for any person to sell or otherwise dispose of any firearm or ammunition to any person knowing or having reasonable cause to believe that such person is under indictment or has been convicted in any court for a crime punishable exceeding 1 year, is a fugitive from justice. Do you want to hear something funny that happened in the concealed carry class?
What?
Maybe about a year ago. This guy's like, hey, I'm asking for a friend. And there's like 20 people in the room, right? You know when somebody says, I'm asking for a friend. No, you're not. You're asking for yourself.
Yeah.
So he goes, I'm asking for a friend. What if somebody has warrants out for his arrest in 2 different states?
Oh, goodness.
But not in the state of Florida. And I was like, okay, so you've heard of these things called computers, right? Sir, you've heard of computers? When this fictitious person walks into the sheriff's department to get fingerprinted, I'm guessing they're not going to walk out. And he was like, oh, okay, that's good. I'll let my friend know. And I'm like, I'm sure you will, sir. I'm sure you will. Number 3 is an unlawful user of or addicted to a controlled substance, has been adjudicated mentally defective or has been committed to any mental institution, is illegally or unlawfully in the United States, has been discharged from the armed forces under dishonorable conditions, has renounced their United States citizenship, is subject to any court order restraining the person from harassing, stalking, threatening an intimate partner, blah, blah, blah. Has been convicted of misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. So if somebody walks up to you, if you've got a family member that you know one of those prohibited things has happened to, then obviously you cannot give a gift to that person. Yeah. So here's the bottom line. These are the 2 rules. Number 1, your mother-in-law can buy you that gun as a gift. As long as she lives in the state of Florida and you live in the state of Florida, she can give that gun to you. If she lives in Texas and wants to buy you a gun, she can do that. She's got to buy it in Texas, have it shipped to a gun store here in Florida. You can pick it up from the gun store in Florida.
Yeah, you would do the 4473, the background check and everything at the gun shop and then pick it up
from
there.
And Ting has pointed out a really amazing fact. All of these rules apply to you unless your name is Hunter Biden. Then it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You can be a drug addict. You can be a criminal. You can sell art for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Even though you're not an artist.
So somebody
Shocking.
said this can't be the first time this kid is killed, maybe just the first time he killed people. True. Right? Yeah. Has anybody watched Dahmer series on Netflix?
It's gross.
Okay. That's how I got. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And then the kids walked in the room and I was like, shut it off. And then I got kind of bored and I was looking for something. So then I watched it again because my sister said it was really good. And then I kind of got back into it. But there was definitely spots where I was like, I don't even know if I can watch this. But it was also kind of good to watch because you can kind of get into the mind of like how they are thinking or how they found their prey or like things that they did that, not that I ever think I would go into somebody's like hotel room to take pictures, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Yes.
But
very creepy show. Very, very creepy
We
show.
had a young woman in the concealed carry class on Saturday in Brandon, And she said that her and her friends were almost human trafficked.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's interesting. So, like, what happened? And she said this girl came up, and they were, like, TikTokers, allegedly. And they said, hey, come over here to this, like, secluded area. We'll give you $1,000 if you shave your head. And she just felt like this is a little bit strange. Like, it's obviously strange. It's very odd. But the direction of where they wanted him to go, they said there was a man sitting in a van just watching them. Now, was that human trafficking? Maybe. I think it's a good hook.
Yeah.
I think a lot of young people are like, ooh, I want to get famous on the internet.
Well, especially now that all these TikTokers and stuff are doing that, right? They're walking around, they're like, we'll give you this much if you do this. We'll give you this. And then that's how they go viral. So it would be easy to fall into that thing of, oh, yeah, this is just another TikToker. It's funny it's funny how they find new ways to get victims, right? Yeah. So I know that I talked to you guys about this last time when Ryan and I were at that business conference, and all of a sudden I got a notification on my phone that I had an AirTag was following me, and this happened at like 12:15 at night when Ryan and I were at the bar with Paisley. So I was like, oh my gosh, me and Paisley went up to the room, and Ryan stayed to have another beer, and I get this notification that I'm being followed by this AirTag. So I'm freaking out because I remember there was a chick in Ryan's class that somebody had stuck it to her vehicle, saw her in Publix or whatever, thought she was cute, stuck it to her vehicle, and then was following her. So I'm freaking out, right? Like, oh my gosh, somebody's tracking us. Long story short, we couldn't find it anywhere in the room.
We dug through everything.
Yeah, and then I guess there's like a thing where you can like ping it, and it wouldn't ping. So it must have been just somebody close to us for a long period of time, because it does take a while. It says it was tracking you for so long before it notifies you. So just the other day, I took my sister's car, right? And I did not know that she had an AirTag on her keys. So then I'm, out shopping, driving around. I'm feeling already like I don't like to be out after dark ever. But I had just dropped Paisley off at homecoming, so I'm at the mall or like by the mall, and I get this thing on my phone that I'm being tracked by this AirTag. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
They got me.
Somebody got me. Like, I must be good looking. Somebody's tracking me, right?
Okay.
So then, I text my sister. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody's following me. She's like, I have an AirTag on my car keys. I'm like, oh, okay, well, never mind.
That makes sense.
But long story short, the reason I'm telling you guys this is because had somebody not have told me about this, I wouldn't have even known that was a thing. So talking about human trafficking and stuff and how they come up with these ways, that was one of the ways that they had a lot of people, because they would just drop it in their shopping bag, walking by in the mall. They would stick it to the car.
I've had students that had really nice cars. He had like a Hellcat, and they found one inside of his Hellcat. It was somebody actually unscrewed something and put it in there.
Yeah.
And then screwed it back up.
Because they probably wait a couple days, or even weeks, so that there's no, go back and see who stuck something on your car, because it's weeks later, and then they come and get it. So just something to be aware of. If you ever get that notification, don't just like ignore it, because it, something could be happening. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know that I'm worthy of being trafficked. Well, okay, Jay, I think you're safe. Okay, enter to win. What are we winning?
Okay, we're going to give something away. I don't know. You're in charge of this section. I set everything else up. And Tiffany's stunned that we're doing a giveaway.
So we're going to do the Sheepdog t-shirt, that one that you see right there. And the reason I'm going to do that, because that's from our new undercover brand. The reason I'm going to do that one is because last week's winner actually decided that they didn't want the t-shirt because they gave their Florida Concealed Carry book to their daughter. And so they wanted a copy of the book. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to roll it. Okay, wait, I got to do it again because it was split in the middle. All right, Lisa D. Lisa, I think you have our email. I think she's emailed before.
Okay, class@tampacarry.com.
No. Lisa, you have my email. Just send me email, and you can pick out a t-shirt on there. I think she just had a birthday, too. Didn't you just have a birthday, Lisa? Because I'm pretty sure she bought a Core Essentials belt for birthday.
Okay, awesome.
So that's really
Congratulations
good.
that you're getting older. It's just a natural thing that happens, but for some reason we celebrate it. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. Have a great night and be safe.
I am a sheepdog.
I have a subconscious and moral burden
to protect and help the people around me.
I believe in safety, responsibility,
and the God-given right to defend myself and others
from the wolves who seek to steal, kill, and destroy.
I defend the Second Amendment
by properly representing what it means to be a gun owner.
I will put aside my doubts,
my fears, and my excuses.
I will be trained, I will be ready.
I will be confident, and I will be prepared.
While some sheepdogs are born, most are made.
Becoming a sheepdog is a choice.
A new way of thinking and a new identity.
An alter ego that you must step into.
We are patriots.
We are defenders of liberty.
We protect those we love.
We are sheepdogs.